Today we're going to be looking at inward bass through the perspective of a spectrogram. So just everybody has a point of reference. Let's talk about what a spectrogram is. On this axis, vertical axis, we have the frequencies that are being covered. On the other axis, we have time. And to measure the level, the volume, for lack of a better term, of each frequency, you can see that the brighter the brighter the frequency, right, that's the volume, right? So let's take a look at some inward bass because this is going to be really exciting. We have Mike beatboxing, so we'll do a shout out to him. Go follow him. This is his inward bass. All right.
And again, it's not a
hello guys,
isolated sample, but
so the first inward bass variation I'll do is a nasal one, which it sounds like this. All right, I can put it in the video if you want. So
now this is actually not at all what I thought this was going to look like. Oops. I'm not sure. We'll have to go through a couple more samples. This looks like it just got hard cut off. But like his consonants, you can see here. So that's really interesting. You can totally like, this is crazy. This is madness. Like, wow. To give an example of another kind of bass, let's do like an example of throat bass real quick. So you see how, like, oops, I gotta do this stuff real quick. So with a throat bass, that's a big difference, right? And so it's not necessarily the volume, it's the amount of frequencies that we're getting. Right? When we go to inward bass, all the frequencies are so compact. It's super intense. So let's give this another listen real quick. All right. So again, we're going to go with mics again.
This variation is the open mouth inward bass, which it sounds this way. All right. So basically, if you move your tongue.
Okay. So what a difference! Like one sound. So the first one was nasal, correct? That was what we were looking at.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot bassier.
Yeah. This is not at all what I thought this would look like. Yeah. So this has way more upper partials. I'm kind of shocked that it's so dramatic. So this one is, sorry, excuse me. It's not the nasal. What was the second one? Because this is gonna matter.
Open mouth?
This is open mouth. Okay. I would suspect, like, and this is why I love doing this stuff, just to confirm. So the reason why I thought the nasal one was going to have a lot more higher frequencies is, I'll show this real quick. Oops, that's the wrong one. Where's the vocal track? Come on, vocal track. There we go. So the mouth and the throat generally produce a bigger space than the nasal cavity, right? You have like these small little airways, right? So the resonant like the frequencies that tend to resonate in the nose are generally higher, to the point of almost being obnoxious. So if we go to a spectrogram where I'm singing through my nose, you'll see what I'm talking about. There we go. Hello, my honey. Hello, my baby. Hello, my ragtime gal. Right? Like, that's just super dense, like, in a really specific frequency range to the point where it's totally obnoxious. And that happens, again, because, like, you know, resonating, using your body to highlight certain frequencies. Like, you'd think that this is going to happen when you do an inward bass through your nose. So that's kind of shocking to me that this doesn't happen. Yeah, truly bizarre. Not what I thought at all was going to happen. It's super cool though. Like, all right, let's keep going with this because this is juicy, for lack of a better term. Okay. Let's get on the spectrum here. There we go. So can you explain to me, so the first one he did, he said that the mouth was all the way up. I don't exactly know what that means. Obviously we have some different shenanigans going on. What can I get some clarification on what he meant by that?
I think he meant tongue position.
Okay.
With an open mouth.
Okay. Okay. Luckily, Mike decided to join us, which I'm super appreciative of. So he meant the tongue. So this is interesting. So this is all the way up. And so this makes sense to me that this is that it comes out to be this way. Higher frequencies are really, really tiny. Frequencies have a size, right? So let me get a visual example here. Okay, so this is why putting the tongue forward like this is understandable, like why it does what it does. Hold on. Oops. Okay, that's what I was looking for. So, right, we start to get into very, very granular sizes as the frequencies get larger. So, or as the frequencies get smaller. So by putting the tongue upward and back like this, where it's like this, the frequencies that are of a smaller size are going to be bounced back into the throat, right? So that's why we're seeing less frequencies in the tongue being upward, less higher frequencies. And you can kind of see, though, there's some interesting effects, right? So you get clearly more resonance here, and you can see the gap here. So at a certain point, the wavelength of these frequencies are high enough to where the tongue does not block them, and they go through the tongue. Right? But you can see how different and how more intense these specific frequencies go, right? And this is the reason why these and this are kind of highlighted is because these are let me see the frequency range, but I'm going to presume that these are overtones of one another, which it looks like that's the case. So yeah, anyway, like totally cool. Really interesting to think of sounds in this way. So let's get to the next one.
It basically works the next way. If you do a faster vibration, that will mean you're doing a higher note. Mm-hmm. But if you do a slower vibration, that means you're doing a lower pitch. So for example, faster is and slower is. So by putting in a bit, it will probably sound like.
So for those who don't know, the way that sound is formed is that there will be something that, so let's just say that air particles are like this, right? And so what happens is that the movement of a thing ends up pushing and pulling and changing air particles. And so the slower and larger the movement is, you're going to get a longer wave, right? So because that is how the pushing and pulling ends up happening at that frequency range, right? You need a certain amount of pushing and pulling of air particles based on like the movement of your folds. The resonance like creates more things that would destabilize air particles, and by doing that within kind of this frequency range right here, you're creating an audible noise, right? So that ends up being this basically. So when you do that lower and it's slower and more powerful movement, like a sub bass or like, you know, inhale bass like we're talking about right now, and then this would be a faster oscillation. And so the vocal folds oscillate like this. And if they're at 440 hertz in A4, what you'll get is like 440 hertz. So that has a specific wavelength to it. So what this is it's a bunch of manipulation to achieve that. And what's super cool is that you can do these sub bass frequencies with the human face hole. And that's kind of incredible. So that's what he's talking about with, if the oscillation is slower, you will get bigger waves. If it's faster, you get faster frequencies. So in the example that we said, A4 is 440 hertz, A3 is 220 hertz. And those again have specific wavelengths. This is this is nutty. Let's take a look at this. I'm super excited to take a look at this. This is vocalized, which is super cool, and we'll talk about more about this. But
all right, high pitch. So like an inward voice, with inward bass. So the voice will be like, that's an inward voice. But if you put inward bass on it, it will sound. It's not really clean, as you can hear.
That sounds
but
clean,
like
man.
I almost
got. Oh, I mean, it sounds
or like I get the bass
like nasty, but in a good way. Okay. So this was the vocalizing. It's interesting to see where air is leaking versus where it's not. I'm not going to comment on that because I don't know enough about how that happens. I have my thoughts on it, but I'm sure someone smarter than me has figured that one out. Now this is the combination of the two. Oops. My face, it's right in the way. She's going for a ride. Okay. Trying to like match up where this is happening. It's like I have a piss poor way to do it. Like the variance between the human error here is kind of massive. But this is super interesting. Let's see. Where the air is leaking, you're actually getting... Yeah, I think you're getting... I need to take a ruler to this. Oh, I know how to do this. I know how to do this. We got high-level MS Paint skills, y'all. This is how we do it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Come on, Lions. Come on, Lions. You got it. Sweet. So I think what's happening is that where the air is leaking, we actually have higher volume at that range, which is super interesting. I can theorize why, but I'd much rather reach out to someone who knows way more than me. And I know as a voice and speech pathologist, I need to like just have the means to pay them. But this is like really cool stuff. Like I'm saving all of this, and I have the sounds on a G drive. I can't thank you enough, Mike. This is Mike beatboxing. Let's get into another sound here.
Big version of it. It's just basically that, putting a inward voice over it. Then is a beatboxer who use normally the inward voice. So like, yeah, that's a really bad version of it, but like you get the idea. So just basically combine two sounds, just to make one.
That's legit. All right. Let's get to his beats, and then we'll get into some other people's.
All right. The next one, it's just a beat from me, so you guys can hear how I use inward bass and how I like to use it. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Yeah.
Holy shit. This one in particular is super nutty.
You said closed mouth TKs. I don't get how closed mouth TKs can be that low.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of like,
Yeah, no, I'm not. Listen.
It's like a kind of sounds like a throat kick, but like rapid throat kicks. But
yeah, I mean that you don't know is
no,
I think is telling that it's some sort of chicanery. Yeah, I mean, like I think the moral of the story is we're all about that bass. How about that for an old reference?
No trouble.
That would be a really cool. I want to hear a beatboxer do that.
No trouble.
Yeah, like that would actually be super sick.
All of them. And so, like, for just recently, like having worked on it, it's got a really great texture to it, I think.
Yeah. So this is just, you got to follow Mike. 1,000 subscribers. It's criminal. His videos have only 10,000 views. This man is legit. Where is it? There we go. I know how to camera. I know how to YouTube. I'm good at this. There's Mike. Boom. It's got the little dashes. Can't miss him. Sorry to interrupt the video. Just a quick channel update. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's beatboxing content. Then Tuesday, Thursday, that's going to be singing content. All right. Thanks for paying attention. On to the video.